Hey guys.
Hey, hey.
Oh no, it's gonna do it again. I can't see
Oh
you.
no. One day,
Oh well.
one day we'll get it figured out.
I don't know why it does that sometimes and then other times it doesn't do that. That's weird.
That is weird. Hmm. We could look into it. Jackie's here. Hey, Jackie.
Hi Jackie. Hi Vivian. Wait, I see a little button. I'm gonna try to see if this works. Hang on. Oh no, that just turns my video off. But your video is on? Like you can see
Um,
yourself?
Vivian, can you see both of us? I can see you, and I can see, I can see you and I can see me. I'm so sorry. You just have to talk to yourself.
Fun. Fun.
Yeah.
I'll just
Okay.
pretend
Vivi said it's
it's
good.
Marco Polo.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay. All right, I got my tea. Do you have tea? Oh, is this backwards?
I do
Just
have
spill the
tea.
tea.
Oh,
It's very hot.
wait. Is yours Yorkshire Gold? I'm jealous. Mine's just regular old Earl Grey.
Maybe I'll just
Um,
smell you some.
yeah. Or you could just give me some next time I come. Anyways, we will not wait too long to get going with Sense and Sensibility. So, did you read all the chapters?
Yes, I have notes. Look,
Oh,
wait.
nice. Well, that's good because I felt like this week I was definitely, this was an emotional roller coaster.
A lot happened. See, I told you.
Yes, a lot happens. And honestly, um, I wasn't surprised per se, but I'm hugely disappointed with how that played out for poor Marianne. So, do you want to give a synopsis of what happened in these chapters?
Okay, so um, we see the arrival of the Steele sisters, right?
Mhm.
Okay. And then, so I'm just gonna go off of my notes because I
Okay.
get distracted. Um, they're like they start teasing about the infamous Mr. F, right? Mr.
Hmm.
Edward Forrest, and we find out that Lucy Steele is actually who the locket of hair belongs to and Edward's ring. And I felt like that was pretty significant. And I also felt I was going to give a synopsis. I'm just going to tell you how I felt.
Okay.
Um, yeah. Well, hang on. Let me go back. Sorry, guys. But Marianne, she can't tolerate the Steeles. Actually, neither one of the Dashwood sisters really like them that much.
Right.
But Eleanor, I feel like her tolerance is a little bit more. Um, And so Lucy ends up confiding in Eleanor that she has like there's this secret engagement. Hi, Jackie. And um, yeah, so I feel so sorry for Eleanor because she can't really tell anybody this, and she just has to kind of hold this information while at the same time, like her heart is, I don't know, probably just broken, but
Shredded.
she true, yeah. And I kind of am annoyed with Lucy too because um, I feel like even though I know how things are gonna pan out, I feel like reading it this time, I'm like, I feel like she knew about Eleanor, and I feel like she was just kind of being, I don't know,
Like
kind of
playing
mean.
stupid or something.
Yeah, and like just kind of, I don't know. I feel like she was digging a little bit. Um, just my opinion there. And but Eleanor, once again, she keeps it together, right? She keeps it together for everybody's sake to protect everybody. Um, let's see, and then that brings us to yeah. Then in chapter 23, we find out about the ring,
Hmm.
which those pictures you posted were so weird.
that was exactly what I had in my mind, and that's why I was so disgusted last week.
So gross. But even more gross because it wasn't Eleanor's hair, it was Lucy's hair.
Well,
Um,
okay, so I was slightly more okay with that because at least it had been given willingly.
oh yeah,
Part of it
you're
freaked me
right.
out that Eleanor was like, if it is my hair, how did he get it? That's major stalker.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
Anyways,
Creepy.
continue on. Yeah.
Yeah. I felt so sorry for Eleanor because she's having, like I said, she's having to like hold all this information. She's grieving silently. But also, I felt so much humiliation for her because I feel like it's one thing to be humiliated in front of people, but like when you're humiliated, if I could talk, inwardly, and like it's not a public thing, but like and I don't know how to describe that, but it's just like this yuck feeling. And I feel like she was a little bit, not a little bit, but I feel like she was humiliated that she didn't know about this thing with Edward and Lucy. I think she really, really thinks that Edward loves her. And now I think she's probably questioning everything. Um, okay. And then then in chapter 24, Lucy's like trying to get advice from Eleanor about should I break off this engagement? And like she's trying to get Eleanor to tell her what to do, I think. And I liked on well, on mine it's like page 78. Because Eleanor smiles, it says she smiles, but her inward agitation was like growing.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, girl, I feel you. And then let's see here. Okay, and then Mrs. Jennings invites the Dashwood girls to go to town, which is London,
Hmm.
and spend some time there with her. Eleanor is like hesitant, but Marianne was like very excited. Obviously, Marianne's excited because Willoughby's in
Good
town,
old
right?
Willoughby. Yes.
Good old Willoughby. And then yeah, so Marianne's hoping to see Willoughby, and immediately when she gets there, they're like frantically. I mean, she's like writing little notes and sending off to him, and which seemed a little bit desperate to me. The amount of letters that she was
Yeah.
sending, yeah, hoping that he would come and see her or something, I guess. But all the while, Eleanor is like she doesn't know, like she's assuming that they're engaged, but are they engaged?
Oh,
Like,
you mean
like
Marianne?
yeah,
Marianne is assuming that they're engaged. Yeah.
no, but Eleanor is
Oh,
assuming that
oh
Marianne and
yes,
Willoughby
yes.
are engaged.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, I guess the frustration for that with me is like, just ask her.
Right, I know.
Um, but Colonel Brandon comes back into the picture. He comes in and visits the girls, and you can definitely, did you feel this, that you could tell that he's definitely interested in Marianne? Like, do you feel that?
Yes.
In
Marianne or Eleanor?
no, Marianne.
Well, he's always been interested in Marianne, right?
Yeah, but like it's very, I feel like it was more apparent now. There is no question if
Yeah.
oh, what was your question last week? Your question was whether Marianne or Eleanor liked
I
him.
I didn't know who Colonel Brandon was going to end up with.
Okay. Well, I think he's shown that he's very interested in
Yes.
Mary Ann,
Yeah.
but also she's so young and he's so ancient at 35.
Yeah.
And then I also felt sorry for Colonel Brandon because Marion was like really disappointed that he was there. She just leaves. I'm
Yeah.
like, poor Brandon.
Yeah.
Um, okay. And then, yeah, so Marion continues to pine for Willoughby because she still hasn't heard back from him, like from through her letter. She still hasn't heard from him. Um, uh, and finally, Willoughby writes to Marianne, or he visits the house. I couldn't really remember
Well,
exactly
it
how that.
sounds like they went to like a dance or something, and he really doesn't like she kind of forces him to acknowledge her, and he doesn't really want to, and so then he writes her the next day and says, like, sorry
Yes, but
for
before
leading you on.
that,
Yeah.
he made a
Oh,
visit, and when
oh
they
yes,
got
and
back
they weren't
in,
there. Yeah.
yeah, and so she's like, "Oh, he was here," and then like she won't leave the house because he might show up, right? And then,
Yeah.
but he doesn't show up a second time, and then yeah, then they go to the dance, and he's there, Willoughby's there with someone else, um, and yeah, she kind of demands his attention, like, will you not even acknowledge
Yeah.
me? Um, yeah, and so then Marianne, do you want to pick up from there since you just read these?
Oh,
I feel like
wow, way
I'm
to call me out.
talking a lot.
Well, no, I was just letting you recap it. Oh, well, no, and then Willoughby says, like, I'm actually sorry for leading you on, but I'm otherwise engaged with this other person. And that's just kind of how we leave it. Marianne's obviously distressed. So my big I like that we picked these chapters, totally not realizing that we were going to take Eleanor's rejection and then Marianne's rejection so that we can compare the two.
Hmm.
Because I feel like that's what these chapters were about. So going to Eleanor's rejection, it was so heartbreaking and devastating that because she doesn't even confess to Lucy. Is that what you like? Is that her
Yeah.
name, Lucy?
Hmm.
Um, Miss Steele. She doesn't even confess to her that she thought that they had a relationship.
Right.
Um, and so that was just heartbreaking. That was so hard. And like you said, just the humiliation. Other people don't even need to know your humiliation. You just knowing it because you're like, "Oh, I just look like a complete idiot."
Yeah.
Um, that it was just heartbreaking and she just has to endure that alone. I felt like what a amazing character she is in the fact of she just keeps going. Like nobody knows. I mean, Jane Austen makes a point to say, like, she went to dinner and nobody had any idea that she had
Yeah.
just found out this devastating news. Um, is that so to me, I feel like it can come off though a little indifferent. So, and the reason why I say that is because just in the last chapters that we've read, where he shows up, and their interactions were very weird, and like, what we read was more Edward and Marianne kind of bickering, you know, back and forth. So
Hmm.
I do kind of relate to in the very beginning of the book when Marianne says, like, y'all just don't seem to really have a spark. You seem kind of indifferent, like you're just settling. Um, so part of me wonders, is she able to just keep going because she really wasn't that invested to begin with?
I don't know. I think she's heartbroken and she
You think
doesn't
so?
like she's just trying to keep it together for everybody else. So like she's like even in this
Yeah.
the last chapter where Eleanor, I mean not Eleanor, but Marianne breaks down and she's like, "This is just how I process my feelings." I mean, also Marianne might, I mean not well, Eleanor. I feel like that's just how she is. That's her makeup, and so that's how she processes her feelings. Is just really silent and inwardly.
Yeah.
Um, but obviously we know that that's not actually healthy. So it's like these two extremes
Yes.
where she's
Right.
just like shoving down, and that's what I feel like she's doing. I feel like she's
Yeah.
shoving down, and then you have um, Marianne. It's just like it's everywhere. Like you're
Right.
going to be hit by it
Emotions
at
flying
any moment.
everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so I don't know. And I think I don't have the knowledge of the long-term thing, so you might be seeing things that I'm not seeing. I'm just reading the story right now for the story. But like I don't see the deeper,
yeah.
when you read something the second, third time, then you understand what that plot point was. But I do think it's so if we just take it on face value,
That's
this is
true.
how she responded to the rejection, and then how Mary Ann, like, over the top, um just can't go on with her life. She wants to leave London immediately because that's her
Yeah.
embarrassment. Like, um, I think it was great to take these two um, situations and have them all happen in our same week for reading. So, um,
Yeah, I like Jackie's comment. Eleanor seems like she is more sensible and that she doesn't want to assume anything unless Edward makes it clear, which yeah, I agree with that.
yeah. So I think that I also like the kind of new, is she a new character? The lady that they go to London with. I'm totally blanking on her name now. Um, the
Mrs.
older
Jenny?
lady. Yeah. Um, she
I mean, she's
seems
not a new character.
well,
She's
but I mean, like in this new, like she's taking care of them.
no, okay.
Kind of role.
Yeah,
Um, she's so much more enjoyable. I
yeah.
think I
She seems a
appreciated
little
the
bit
fact,
more,
yeah, that she was like, she knew what was happening and is like, I'm going to tell everybody that we're just going to blacklist Willoughby from everything, and um, kind of
yeah.
rallying behind them. Um, I really appreciated that from her character. And then the other part that I found funny was in, not that that was funny, but the part that I found funny was in the beginning, in the first couple of chapters, where they're talking about the the new Mrs. Steeles that were coming, and then the kids, um, are they just called the Jennies? I can't remember what their all of their names were, but the younger kids.
The
Um,
Middleton, the kids
yes, the kids that
that follow.
live at the park.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Um, and how just utterly annoying they are, and how everybody's like trying to make the best of it. And
yes.
um, I just found that hysterical. So, um, that I guess that was the comedic relief in between these, all of the stuff that was happening. But so I did feel, oh, Jackie said, did Willoughby actually apologize for leading her on? Or did it seem like he apologized that she took it that way? I think he apologized, uh, and he said, if I apologize if I don't know, does he say if I misled you to have feelings like that? That was kind of how I took
I
it. But yes, he might not have taken any responsibility. I think the summary of that letter was that he made her feel like she blew up the situation, like she exaggerated the situation of their feelings and intentions. Um,
yeah,
def
I don't feel like he owned his
yeah,
part.
no, no. Whether or not he said those words or not, he still, the letter still is like,
Right.
well, you know, I'm sorry you took it that way, but that's not, I
Yeah, I
never
can
meant it
assure
like that.
you that it was perfectly unintentional.
Yes. So, and I thought it was interesting because then at the later chapters, Miss Jennings says, um, you know, it kind of appears like maybe he's running out of money and he needs to marry up. So you kind
Yeah.
of wonder if did he actually have intentions to marry her, but now the situation has changed and he doesn't know how to deal with that, so he's just trying to cut ties real quick, or did he never really love her at all and was leading her on from the beginning?
Well, I have thoughts, but I'm not going to
Oh,
say because
okay.
I would say something, but then it would kind of.
Okay. So, um, I liked this week's reading a whole lot more than last week. We actually made progress, um, rather than not moving, which is what I felt like happened last week. So, I am excited to see where this goes, but I feel like I'm not I'm not enjoying the idea of Colonel Brandon and Miriam. That to me just seems weird. I don't know. So I'm not on board with that relationship yet, if that's where it goes. And I have no idea what is going to happen to poor Eleanor because I don't know how you go back. So maybe he's going to say that Mary Ann took his, or not Mary Ann, Lucy took his intentions, although he was wearing her hair um, too far. I don't know where that's going, but I don't know how you go back to Edward if he did like have this engagement to this other person while he went and visited Eleanor. So those are my thoughts. I know we can't say too much because it'll be spoilers, but and we are going to have an episode on the podcast purely dedicated to talking about the whole book when we're finally all done with it. But um I don't know. So I am anxiously looking forward to where we're going in the next 10 chapters.
Yeah. Did you like how the mother encouraged Eleanor to go on that trip? But it was so like a mother, right? It's
Yes.
like, no, no,
Yes.
no, you need to go so that
Yeah.
we can
No, please go.
catch up on our reading and get some
Yeah.
things done around the house. I thought that was funny.
I did I did like how she was like too like I'm gonna totally discipline your younger sister so she'll be a completely different
Right.
person by the time you get back.
Yes.
She has big goals for them being gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope she gets them all done. Probably not, but I think it's like a lot of moms when we think, "Oh, I'm gonna have a week to get stuff done," and then nothing ever happens the way
You
you
do
think it's
nothing.
going to. But yeah. Um, but yeah. So that so did you have any other thoughts about these chapters?
No, I thoroughly enjoyed them. I like really felt Eleanor's pain. That's just
Yeah.
so hard, and I just want to go and tell her, use your voice.
Yeah.
Say what
Well,
you think.
when they first started talking about Mr. F, I wasn't making the connections that it was Edward. And so I was
Oh,
like, why is she going on and on about this guy? And then it finally occurred to me that, oh, that is Edward. And yeah. And what are the odds? They're Jane Austen odds that she
yeah, of
would
course.
run into the to the same woman that he is supposedly engaged to. So it was a
Well,
lot. It was a lot of information.
it was also like distant cousin, so it was Mr.
Yes.
What's his name? St. John. St.
So they're
I want to keep wanting to say St.
yes,
John. No.
they're his cousins, and then this is the wife's family.
Yes. But yeah.
Yes.
So,
So yes.
Jackie,
It but
do you have
it's
other thoughts?
a
Sorry.
tangled web Jane Austen weaves. But
Hmm.
I didn't have any. I feel like these chapters were very self-explanatory. It's just
Yeah.
heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking for both of them. Um, and you feel more bad for one than the other because Mary and just everyone was telling her to not do that. I did find it annoying too when, like you were saying, she didn't just point blank ask her, and then she's like, I have to write mom so that mom can ask her. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
you are with her, just go ask her. I can't
They,
imagine living at a time when you couldn't just ask somebody something.
I feel like they process everything so slowly. Like they have these engagements where they don't see each other and even when
Yes.
they see each other, it's like really awkward because I don't know, they're looking at each other across the room. It's not like I
Yeah.
don't feel like they're really
Yeah.
talking. Uh, yeah,
It's very interesting. But anyways. Okay. Well, if that's all and do you have any final thoughts?
I don't. I'm ready
Okay.
for the next 10.
Me too. I'm ready to move on from all of the. I really thought that last week was kind of where we were with the heartbreak, so I was not prepared for the stampede of heartbreak that was this week. So, um, and I kind of wonder. the rejection that she has from both of them back to back. Is there another book that she ever has that has like such, I don't know.
I
Like this just feels really rough.
obviously haven't read all of her books, but I feel like this one is a little bit different, and I think that might be why I like it.
Yeah.
From the ones that I've read, like from Emma, from Pride and Prejudice. I feel like this one's different.
I feel like both of these girls finding out that their intended was engaged with somebody else, both of them, the situations were so hard, um,
Yeah.
and just devastating. And for, like I said, for it to happen back to back, I don't recall, one of the other books being that like everybody was being trampled on. I don't know. So maybe somebody could let us know in the comments if I have forgotten something. I know that there's heartbreak in all the books, but it just seems to be contained to like, you know, um, and not be so, I don't know. This is a lot. This is a lot. I mean, basically, this
Yeah.
is what the 10 chapters were. It's a lot.
Lots of heartbreak.
Yes.
Um,
So,
yeah.
anyways. Okay.
Wyatt's here. Wyatt could tell us about Jane Austen and his.
No, he can tell you about Jane Eyre.
Oh, I
Um,
know that, but
yes. Um, anyways. Okay. Well, thanks everybody for being here. And we will, I look forward to next week's chapters. Hopefully we can, Wyatt said yes, he can talk to you about Jane Eyre. Hopefully we can get some resolution. And we need more guys because I don't know who anybody's going to marry at this point. If all of them are turning out to be bad guys, I don't know what's left. Ugh,
I
we'll
don't know
never
what to
know.
tell you. Can't tell you. Can't tell you. But it's gonna be
Anyways,
good. I feel like that's what I say after every life. It's gonna be good.
we just got to get there. So, okay. Thanks everybody
All
for getting
right.
on. Bye.
Bye.